What is up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out the first episode of the OTK podcast. In case you don't know me, my name is Caleb Paddock, and I am the founder of OneTrueKing Media, and I will be your host on all episodes moving forward. Since it is our first show, I thought I would take this opportunity to let you guys get to know a little bit about me and the journey that I've been on in creating this organization and what I hope our community can accomplish together. Well, this all started in college and coming out of college. As all young people do, I had to start asking myself, where am I going to get my news and my media? And so I started with the traditional outlets like CNN or MSNBC. I even looked into some of the other YouTube channels that lean a little bit left, like Vice and Vox. And it didn't take very long for me to realize that I was not welcome. Anybody on the right was going to be pretty quickly labeled a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, all of these things. And while I don't mind disagreeing with the perspective of the person that I'm looking to, I'm not really interested in being insulted every single episode. And so naturally, as a conservative, I said, okay, well, I'll try right-leaning media, places like Fox News, Steven Crowder, Tommy Lauren. And while I agreed with a lot of the perspectives that they were presenting, I couldn't agree with the way that they were presenting them. You see, I am a Christian conservative, which means that I don't just want you to think a certain way, I want you to treat people a certain way. And as far as I was concerned, calling somebody a snowflake or insulting them was not a defense of our position, it was a reflection on our character. And so I thought, well, maybe I can find some place in the Christian world. But that kind of fell apart too, because I'm a little bit different in the fact that I don't think that the answer to every single question is, well, that's what my Bible says. See, I believe in the validity and the authority of Scripture, but I believe that we are called to be logical enough to make a frame of reference, an argument that is based on logic, something that people that aren't faith-based can wrap their head around and actually believe is a viable perspective. And so that left me wondering, what would it be like if there was a Christian/conservative media organization that was designed to help people think differently, but weren't willing to attack people in order to accomplish that goal? What if people that disagreed started to have conversations? What if there was some place that a liberal non-Christian could hear what a Christian conservative had to say in a way that would actually want them to engage and have a conversation versus immediately hitting the dislike button and walking the other way? So that's where OneTrueKing Media all began, was this dream to be able to have a place where people could have a conversation and have a conservative outlet that wasn't willing to bend to the will of a moving culture, but at the same time wasn't looking to insult anyone and everyone that disagreed with them. And so I began the journey of trying to decide, okay, what are we going to call this thing? And I thought OneTrueKing Media was a great name because a lot of what I want to do has to do with engaging people about faith, but not just faith. I want to talk about culture and philosophy and politics and all of these things. And for me, there was two prevalent ideas that were kind of running through culture at the time. It was this moral relativism that everything is subjective, that you get to define what reality is. And then the other was that all roads lead to heaven, that all religions are the same, and that while they may be called different things, it's all one God. And I wanted our name to kind of be a line in the sand to say, in case you didn't know, we believe that there are truths that hold concretely no matter what you think. And as far as the issue of philosophy or faith, we believe that there is one true king. And so that's where our name comes from, and that is the message that it is trying to communicate, not in a condescending way, but in a way that communicates the truth does not change simply because we want it to, and God is the same way. So let's go ahead and go over a little bit of the format for this show. So like I said, we're going to be talking about issues of faith, but we're also going to be talking about issues of culture. So every even-numbered episode is going to talk about faith in some way. And every odd-numbered episode is just going to be something about culture or society. We'll do interviews with both people I agree with and people that I don't agree with. And I hope that we have the opportunity to engage with you guys, our viewers, because I want to create a community around this. I want people to see what it means to have a conversation with the other side without insulting them, calling them names, and having a yelling match by the end of the podcast or show. And that's the disclaimer that I want to give moving forward in case you ever see a comment in a comment section or hear somebody say something about OTK. I want the disclaimer to be clear. I'm going to have people on this show that I disagree with. And I don't necessarily condone all of the ideas that you're going to be here communicated by my guests. But I believe that the last thing that we need to be doing is silencing people that we disagree with. We need to give them an opportunity to express their ideas and then have someone there that can communicate the opposite idea, the response, the rebuttal to those thought processes if we think those thoughts are incorrect or dangerous. And that's exactly what we are going for here, is a conversation. And so next I want to talk a little bit about the community, because conversation is the base of our community. So if you're watching anything and everything that we produce, please make sure to comment. And we're going to be active and engaging in that comment section or on Twitter, on Facebook, all of these places. You know, one of my biggest pet peeves is when I click on an ad or I click on a channel and there's hundreds of thousands of comments about this video, and the original poster, the channel, hasn't even bothered to respond to any of those people. To me, that shows the fact that you don't really care about your community. You don't care about the viewers, you care about the views. And I want people to know that even if you're telling me how stupid I am in the comment section down below in any of our videos, I still want to engage with you. I want to find out why you think I'm stupid. I want to find out what is the opposite position that you obviously hold. And so I hope to be different in that way, that this media organization, as we grow and as we get bigger, and I know that we will, I want the foundation of who we are to be communication, compassion, and relationship. And speaking of compassion, you are going to hear a lot this phrase, this idea of being a compassionate conservative. You know, to me, the only way that we're ever going to change the way that the world thinks is learning how to not compromise on truth, but not be ready to go at each other's throats, not calling people all of these names simply because we disagree with them. And that's the balance that I hope to inspire people that are conservative, that are watching this, even if you're a person of faith or not. If you deem yourself conservative, learn how to find those two absolutes. You see, I am never going to change my thoughts on any controversial topic, whether it's traditional marriage or this issue of transgenderism or immigration or the long list of topics that we're going to explore in this show. I am never going to change simply because people do a change.org petition against me. I'm not going to change because people thumb down my videos. I'm not going to give in to a swaying culture and the opinions that people have. But at the same time, when somebody engages me and calls me a name, tells me that the show and what we're trying to accomplish is stupid and not worth the time, one of my absolutes is the fact that I'm not going to call you a name back. I'm not going to suggest that you have no idea what you're talking about, because that's not the way that I want to do this. This is not the way that I want our community to do this. And I hope that we get to the point where if one of our community members goes that route, the rest of the community gently and lovingly corrects and says, hey, you need to be trying to win hearts, not winning debates. And that's exactly what we hope to do here, because we genuinely believe that if people are willing to change their mind, then they can change the world. But a part of changing your mind is being willing to listen to the person that is presenting the new idea to you. And so I hope that if you are a person of faith or a conservative, that you will hear this idea as the years go by, and I have the opportunity to maybe show you what that looks like as I engage people that I drastically disagree with on so many different topics, but show them the respect and the compassion that they deserve as a person, and ask them to explain exactly why they hold the beliefs that they do. Well, I appreciate you checking out this podcast. Most of them are going to be longer, as they're going to have guests, or we're going to be exploring different ideas. Our next episode is going to be with Youth America, an awesome faith-based organization that is trying to reach the next generation and absolutely killing it in the process. So I hope that you will make sure to tune in next week. We put out a podcast every single week on Friday, so make sure to subscribe. Make sure to add our channel to whatever platform you're watching it on. And if you would be willing to give us a 5-star review if you're listening to this on iTunes, or leave a comment or a like, depending on where you're consuming all of this, we would greatly appreciate it. And I want to hear your thoughts. Tell me just a couple of questions I want to pose to you guys. What does it mean to be conservative or liberal? What does it mean to be compassionate on both sides? Do you think that we should be silencing people that we disagree with? Do you think some ideas are just too dangerous for people to be propagating? And did you find the similar experience that I had when you went to the left or you went to the right, that there just seemed to be missing pieces depending on where you were looking? I would love to hear your ideas. Make sure to hit us up on all of our social media platforms. You can find us at OTK Media on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's a lot of them. And if you're wanting to support us financially, we would love to have you come alongside us. You can find our Patreon at patreon.com/OTKmedia. And like I said, I would love to hear from you guys. I hope to get to know each and every one of you. Thank you so much for checking out this episode, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.